you'll get a variety of reactions to using egg patterns from fly fishers and fly tyers. But there are times when egg pattern is the only thing that'll work, or one of the few things that'll work. I don't use very many egg patterns, but one that I've had a certain amount of success with has been the Antron yarn egg pattern. Basically, for those who are dubious, all you have to do is point to the idea that it is essentially the first part of a Gary LaFontaine deeper emergent sparkle pupa. In this particular case, what you'll want is a little bit of Antron yarn, and what you'll do is tie it on the hook shank, extending out the front over the eye. Get it to wrap around on the bottom, and take the second part and wrap it around over the top. Notice that I'm using a Daiichi 1120. There are egg hooks out there, or hooks made specifically for egg patterns, but I find that the Daiichi or the TMC 2457 with the wide hook gap or gape works just fine for me. Then what you'll do, a lot of people will take Antron yarn and make the egg pattern entirely out of Antron. I don't do that. What I do is I take and make a yolk out of a variety of dubbings. In this particular case, I mix some J-Fair seal sub dubbing in red with some Wapsi Sow-Scud dubbing in shrimp pink to go with the ginger variant Antron yarn. And all you do is double ball tightly for a yolk, and end your thread behind that ball of yarn. Now you have two choices at this point, but both of them involve splitting the Antron dubbing in two. And pulling it back. Now before you do that, you need to make a decision. The most common way that this is tied is to bring your thread back to well down the bend of the hook. Then when you pull your Antron dubbing back, notice I said Antron dubbing, not Antron yarn, although the yarn will work. The dubbing is just a little bit less expensive in terms of how many you can get out of a package of dubbing versus a package of yarn. Pull it back tight, and a couple of loose wraps, couple three, and then push, take your fingernail, thumbnail, and push it back forward so that it forms an Antron overbody or ball around that dubbed yolk. Clip it off tight. whip finish. I go around it a couple of times. Clip or break off your thread. Usually you don't have to get too fancy about it. There'll be a few stray fibers, but basically that's it. When it gets wet, that Antron will become somewhat transparent, where the yolk will show through. The other alternative on these is, rather than wrapping the thread all the way down, tying off back here, and pushing forward, just pull the Antron back over the top of the yolk that you tied in and tie it off. It won't create as large a body. It will give a slightly different effect in the water, but it does work. And that's all that really counts.